Hello, this is part 2 of the video how to make the face round. Last week I explained why the use of light and shadow was important. I've shown you some examples of great paintings and I show you the sheet with the 7 items about how you can create form. This week we are going to practice. As I explained in the previous video, we need a small round ball, some paper and some paint. We place the ball on the table near the window because we need one light source. Let's put some paint on our palette first. It doesn't matter what you use as a palette. It can be a traditional wooden palette or a piece of glass. You can also use a plate or a sheet of paper. For this example, we only use black and white, and we're going to mix 2 midtones to make it easier. Black with a hint of white and white with a hint of black. So basically we have 4 colors on our palette. Well, let's do the exercise together. We're not going to make a museum piece. It's just a learning exercise. It does not have to be perfect. We stick our paper to a board with some tape. This can be any type of paper or carton. I think it's easy to have it in front of you, but if you want to put it on the table, everything is fine. Now we're going to cheat a little bit on our drawing. I will give you some drawing exercises later, but now we just do it the easy way. Of course, you cannot do this with a hat or flowers or, well, practically everything. I cover the lines extra so you can see this better on this video. Well, let's get started. We always start with the darks. We start with the darkest black right here. This is the place where the ball lays on the surface. The ball casts its shadow on the horizontal plane. It's called the cast shadow. The cast shadow appears to be darker at the beginning of the shadow. Here we take real black paint. Then we take the second mixture, which is the dark gray, and we use this for the outside line of the ball. Carefully make it round. Try to color between the lines. Later we make it smoother, but now we just make sure the ball stays round. We fill in the shadow with the dark gray. Carefully rub the paint in. It doesn't have to be precise, it's just an exercise. Then we take the lighter gray to lighten the shadow which is closest to the ball. This is reflected light from the ball in the cast shadow. Now we draw the penumbra, which is slightly dark ring when the light hits the shadow. This is a very beautiful phenomenon when we learn about color. You can see some magical things in this space. Interesting happen because the light bends towards the shadow. We go from a half tone to a dark tone. This is a half moon of dark in the form shadow. The shadow appears to be darker there. And then you have reflected light in the rest of the core or form shadow, whatever you want to name it. So we fill in the shadow with the paint we premixed. Now we're starting on the light side. We paint the light side with the other color or value, a lighter gray we've just premixed. The value, the surface is a bit rough here, so I have to brush quite hard. To be honest, I'm not used to this surface. I like to work on a very smooth surface. I take some medium to make my paint thinner. In this video, it's not about brush strokes. We all learn about that later. But you can see I move the strokes in a way I want them to be. If you want to make it round, you paint them that way. It's a personal taste whether you want to see the brush strokes or not. Now we put in the highlight in pure white. Highlights are always great fun, but be careful not to overdo it. Actually, only shiny objects have real highlights. It's great to use highlights to emphasize things, like I do in this exercise, but if you really want to paint realistically, you will notice that there are very few things have bright highlights. You better have a close look at what you have in front of you on the table. We'll lighten I will lighten my mid-tone here a bit because I find it too dark. In oil painting, you can always come back and correct your work. No problem. I put a little bit of reflected light on the bottom of the ball, where the surface reflects the light. Yeah, that is better here. The background is a very important element of the painting. By using the background, you can create depth, as I already shown to you in part 1. Very carefully, we make the background on the light side dark, really black. In the light side, we want to have more detail than in the dark side, so we draw the line more clearly, more precisely. We draw a very sharp line here. In the shadow, we want more mystical things to happen, so we blur the shadow, we make it more vague, and that way we create depth. The light side seems to be closer to you. Now we can really see the ball coming out. Now we take some white. We make the background of the shadow side pure white. I hope you're still with me. I hope I don't go too fast or too slow. We go round the ball and cover the lines. This way we make the line a little bit more vague. Then we make the transition between the dark side and the lighter side, and we just take some gray. We just blend it in a bit. The gray is almost the same value of the ball. It's an interesting thing then when the value of the ball is exactly the same as the value of the background, because that way we don't see an edge. Later on we will discuss values and lost and found edges, but here we can already see it happening. This is also a thing where magic happens. You can already see the ball coming out a little bit more. Well, we rub it in a little bit. It's just an exercise, so you can always come back and do it later more precisely if you want that. The table, the surface, is quite a neutral color, so I paint the horizontal plane quite light. So, a short recap. At the dark side of the ball, the background is light, and at the light side of the ball, the background is dark. That is how we create depth. Of course, I exaggerated a lot here to make you see the principle and to show you how it works. In reality, you can make the background more subtle, more beautiful, and more realistic. And I'm quite harsh on the lines everywhere. You can do that more smoother, blend it more, make it romantic. Or you can make it more impressionistic. Use more bold brushstrokes and bring more excitement in it. That's all up to you. The white ball reflects light on the table, so I take some white to make it lighter in front of the ball. It's okay for now. Of course, you may continue and make it more perfect if you want. If you don't like to see all these brush strokes and you want to make it smoother, then take a large brush and carefully go over the ball in a round circle. Okay, I'm gonna leave it this way. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Next week, I will name every shadow. I've called all the shadow during the exercise, but I'm going to explain them more. And we compare the ball with the little face of the boy. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.